Have you ever tried hugging a hedgehog? No. Well, imagine a bunch of them trying to cuddle up on a freezing winter night. Sounds like the beginning of a bad joke, right? But here's the thing, these spiky little creatures face quite the dilemma. Get too close, and they'll prick each other. Stay too far apart, and they'll freeze. Spoiler alert, this isn't just about hedgehogs. You know that awkward moment when someone goes for a hug and you go for a handshake. Or when you're stuck between ghosting that overly chatty friend and being bombarded with their daily life updates. Welcome to the human version of the hedgehog's dilemma. Speaking of social dilemmas, let's take a quick trip back in time. Way before Instagram and personal space bubbles. Some old Greek guys had already figured this out. And no, they weren't posting philosophical selfies with toga filters. Plato, imagine him as that friend who always gets weirdly deep at parties, said something brilliant about distance. He claimed that to really see something clearly, you need to stand at just the right distance. Too close, and you're basically that person who watches movies with their nose touching the screen. Too far, and you're trying to watch a drive-in movie from 3 blocks away. Then there was Aristotle, the original everything in moderation guy. He'd probably look at our social media habits today and have an absolute field day. Oh, you have 3,000 friends on Facebook. How's that working out for you? Classic Aristotle shade. And let's not forget Epicurus, who was basically running the ancient version of a cozy coffee shop, where people could hang out, but not like, hang out. You know what I mean? He created this garden, where friends could be together while still having their personal space. Think of it as the original WeWork, but with more philosophical discussions and fewer ping-pong tables. Now, fast forward to today. We're all digital hedgehogs, aren't we? Poking at our phones, trying to feel connected while keeping our emotional spikes safely tucked away. We've mastered the art of being alone together, sitting in coffee shops with our headphones on, sharing the same space, but wrapped in our own little bubbles. But here's where it gets interesting. In our hyperconnected world, we're actually dealing with the same old hedgehog problem, just with fancier spikes. Our notifications are like little needles, constantly poking us. Our read receipts are digital proximity sensors. And don't even get me started on the whole close friends story feature. That's some next level hedgehog hierarchy right there. So, what's a modern hedgehog, person to do? Well, here's some ancient wisdom repackaged for your contemporary convenience. First, embrace the art of selective availability. Just like our spiky friends, you don't need to be in cuddle mode all the time. It's okay to go into airplane mode occasionally, both literally and metaphorically. Second, master the sweet spot of digital warmth. You don't have to like every single post or respond to every message instantly. Think of it as finding that perfect distance where you're close enough to share warmth, but not so close that everyone's getting hurt. And finally, remember that, like those wise old Greeks figured out, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Some friends are like cactus, they're cool with minimal contact. Others are like those clingy phone chargers that only work at a specific angle. The beauty of it all, we're all in this together, trying to figure out how close is too close, and how far is too far. Whether you're a hedgehog in ancient Greece or a human in modern Manhattan, we're all doing this delicate dance of distance. So next time you're wondering whether to reply to that message now or later, or debating if you should attend that social event, remember, you're not being antisocial, you're just channeling your inner hedgehog. And that's perfectly fine. Some might even say it's philosophical. After all, life is all about finding that sweet spot where you're close enough to feel the warmth, but not so close that you're feeling the spikes. And hey, if ancient philosophers and hedgehogs could figure it out, maybe there's hope for us too.